네, 글로벌 스타트업
Welcome
대축제
to Deep's
TryEverything
1000 Plus
2023
and Try Everything 2023. We're now at day 2 of Try Everything 2023. I welcome you all. We will now begin the session.
먼저 인사드려야 할 것 같은데요.
Allow
저는
me
본
to
세션의
introduce
진행
myself.
맡을 아나운서
I will be the
나영란입니다. 여러분
MC
반갑습니다.
of this session. My name is Nayoung-nan. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
감사드립니다.
Thank you very
네, 이번
much.
세션은 2023 혁신
So
창업
we are
패키지
here at Try Everything 2023, and
프로젝트에
outstanding
참여하신
companies
모든
who joined the
기업들이
Deeptech
글로벌
Incubating Program for
CVC를
Startup
대상으로
1000 Plus
피칭을
project
진행하는
will
시간입니다.
deliver
각
IR
기업에게는
presentations for
5분간의
global
피칭
CVCs.
시간이 주어질
Each company
예정이고
will have
그거에
5 minutes
이어서
to present,
5분간의
which will be
주시간
followed by a 5-minute Q&A.
타이머를 확인해서
So
시간
please make
단축
sure that
부탁드립니다.
you keep
Ladies
your
and gentlemen,
presentation
welcome
on
to the
time.
second day of Try Everything 2023. It is my huge and great pleasure to stand before you all as your MC with this meaningful session. My name is Ryla, and good to see you all. From now on, please allow me to begin the session, the title of Deep's 1000 Plus and Try Everything IR Pitching. Also, we provide a simultaneous interpretation for your information. So tune to channel 7 for Korean, channel 8 is for English. Each company will give us a presentation for 5 minutes, and then Q&A session will be followed. Without any further ado, please allow me to introduce our first presenter with this session. Please welcome to Senior Manager of Safeware, 장하다. 여러분, 세이프웨어 주식회사의 장하다 시니어 매니저님을 큰 박수로
Please
환영해주시기 바랍니다.
welcome Ms. Tang
Please
Hana of
welcome her
Safeware
onto
with
the
a big
stage
round
with
of
a warm
applause.
round of applause.
Hello, this is Savior, our company dedicated to enhancing human safety through airbag technology. I am Hada, Senior Manager of the Global Business Division, and I'm honored to be here today present our company today. Savior was founded in 2016 and currently has 25 employees. We achieved a revenue 3.5 revenue last year, and our target revenue for this year is 10 million, which represents a growth rate of 300%. Furthermore, Safeware project has gained significant attention not only in Korean market, but also internationally since they are launched. As a result, we received the CES Innovation Award in 2022 and 2023, and were ranked among the top 3 in the IEEE stars as a product contributing to humanity. We hear about accidents happening worldwide every day, and one major cause of industrial accident is fall. Let me share some exact data related to accidents in industrial settings. In the USA alone, a person lost their life to an industrial accident every 90 minutes. Over 78% of these accidents are fall occurring within 9 meters or less. These accidents not only result in loss of their life, but also lead to an annual economic loss of $1.2 trillion. We pondered on how to exit this accident. After extensive research, we developed Safeware C3, which we'd like to introduce today. This product is wearable airbag vest. Okay, here's how it works. First, when an accident occurs, the sensor detects fall. Second, The airbag inflates before workers reach the ground. Third, the inflated airbag will protect the worker's body. Fourth, it connects to the rescue team through the automatic emergency call function, reporting the location. Fifth, it ensures swift transportation of injured worker, secure golden hour. Okay. Our protect, sorry, it's, okay. Our product is designed to protect critical areas of a worker's body that are directly related to their life, including the head, neck, chest, and spine. Compared to competitor, Safer product is the only one designed to fully protect the body within 5 meters or over 4. Recognizing the excellence of our project, we currently have heard 40 patents and have more than 600 clients. The use case of Safer projects allow them to be used in various settings, accommodating workers operating at high anywhere. Safer aims to achieve 1 million in revenue by 2026 and has plans for IPO. Safer constantly generates new ideas to save humanity through airbag technology. Therefore, we launched an airbag for motorcycle in May of this year. This is the safe team that makes all of this possible. Safer will continue to strive to create a safe tomorrow. Thank you for your attention. And any question?
All right, then it is time to begin our Q&A session with her presentation. So if you have any question or any comment, please feel free to ask.
Have you done any study to determine the effectiveness in preventing injury by using this device during a fall?
Sorry, you means how
Effective
fast?
is it? Yeah. How safe? I mean, how safe is it?
Yes, we can because as I said, our inflated time is within 0.2 seconds, so it can be protect bodies before reach out the ground.
But have you done any accident tests? Like, I mean, cars, for example, test with dummies, crash dummies, and see how safe it is. So have you done any study like that?
Got it. As our test reference, we can reduce power 55% impact.
Decrease the impact by 55%, is that what you're saying?
55%.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Just a question on customers. You mentioned you have over 600 customers, which is very impressive, and congratulations on that traction and progress. What is the average order size from your customers, given that you have a large number of customers and $3.5 million in revenue from last year?
Sorry, can translation for 번역을 좀 해주실 수 있겠습니까? 네. 수신기가 혹시
네, 수신기를 전달을 해주시면 저희가 트랜슬레이트 다시 한번
Can you
해드리겠습니다.
please give her the
She's going to wear the
receiver?
receiver and then please
Maybe I
understand
can
it.
help. 그 커스터머한테 오더 받으실 때 한 번에 몇 피스 정도씩 받으시는지 질문을.
So it was about the order volume.
모든 작업자들이 착용을
Well, in fact,
고가의 상품이다 보니까
it's quite expensive, the product itself. So it's about 10 to 20 pieces per order. And then we actually make sure that the facilities are equipped with about 10 to 20 clothing.
All right then. Last one. Yes, thank you, please.
Yes. Do you work also with the insurance companies on the regulatory aspect of enforcing wearing these type of jackets? I mean, what's the lawsuit for people and casualties due to this people that got hurt during work?
Our major client exec is for worker high, so it's most is industrial, like large company, for example, SK or Samsung, like that. And nowadays we are work with government because in Korea, it's 중대재해법 is kind of law for protecting the workers. It's very important these days. So nowadays we work with government and government empowers them to use our project. Yeah.
All right then. It seems that our time's up here. So 네, 시간이 다 된 것 같습니다.
네,
여기서
time's up, so we
마무리하겠습니다.
will
Please
wrap
give her a
up.
big applause once again. Thank you for your presentation. 감사드립니다. Next,
Thank you so much.
we'd like to introduce next presenter, Lee Chang-gun, Manager, Back-end Development Team of Wonder Move. So please welcome him onto the stage with a big hand. 네, 이창근 매니저님 무대로 나와주시기 바랍니다.
Please be on the stage, Mr. Lee.
준비되시면 바로 시작하시면 됩니다.
Get started whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chang-gun Lee, one of the accelerator of Wonder Move team. We are revolutionizing the way how people engage with automotive industry and helping businesses drastically cut their expenses on cloud environment. We aggressively targeted overseas markets and not only surpassed the break-even point within a year, but also generated 35% of net profit as well. We are proud of our global recognition with certifications and local awards, including prestigious Super Startup honor. And for now, our main focus is taking our new solution Scuba worldwide. Now let's get into the main point. Do you know how much expenses will be paid on cloud management? It is expected to reach 1.8 trillion euros in the cloud environment. The problem is this cost will be growing up if your system is using more and more resources and needs to be scaled up. What if we can cut this size? What if we can manage these expenses and control the human error in the cloud environment? One of the biggest factors contributing to the high cost of server expenses is DevOps. Please look at Wonder Move scenario as an example. We currently allocate 8 million euros to the DevOps expenses. However, this cost will be growing up substantially as our monthly active user keep increasing. if the MAU reaches 100 million, our DevOps expenses will potentially surge to 32 million euros. Then we can have a simple one question. Why are DevOps so expensive? They're using approximately 90% of the core technology in cloud environment. Based on their extensive experience and knowledge in the development field, the current market rate for hiring DevOps is 9,500,000 euros in Singapore. What we are going to tell you is, our solution can cover this. This is how DevOps works. They interact with the terminal window and typing the source code, which might be led to human error. And the Scuba also minimizes this by transforming DevOps into simplified UX and UI. I guess you might have some interest in our Scuba solution, or might have not. With eBPF, AI, and automatic pattern creation included, we have already registered 27 patents in Korea and 5 Hague design registration underway, and are filing for the international patents for the rest as well. Please remember that our solution is providing the most fastest auto upscaling and downscaling to the users, ensuring efficiency and flexibility as well. And the European market has shown the promising result for Scuba. The POC, which has been conducted by Hyundai Motor Europe, demonstrated 51% of reduction in the server expenses. Now let's compare the usability of Scuba with other solutions. Our competitor listed in the chart consume almost 85%, as they are not providing eBPF and multi-proxy support. The IT field has steadily piled up the legacy solution in the cloud environment, creating a kind of digital graveyard. In the contrast, Scuba is like a highway which can replace a mix of legacy solution accumulated over time. Scuba is a single all-in-one solution. Now that you have a brief overview on our solution, let's have a closer look at our income structure works. We have 4 subscription options, including free trial, and user can use our services for free during the free trial period until their CPU usage reaches 1,000 virtual CPUs. And this is our marketing strategies. We have 3 marketing strategies: creating a customer database, supporting startup and a developer community with a free trial, and using social network for outreach. And this year of WonderMove is backed up with the scheduled POC, and we are also seeking for the vendors to manage the sales in the European countries. And at least 1.6 million euros are already scheduled to be raised from the market by this effort. And now let's meet a crucial member of our team who has contributed significantly to our success. Our teams are led by 4 experienced leaders, each responsible for R&D, development, and UI UX. And these are our team members who played a pivotal role to drive WonderMove towards this vision, which is the premier IT corporate. Before I close my presentation, I would like to give you an exciting news. WonderMove is now a finalist for 2023 SaaS Award, alongside the industry giants like IBM AMD, and Cisco. And this recognition cements our commitment to innovation as well. Keep moving forward, and we are excited about the future. We'll keep moving and striving for the excellence. Please stay tuned for more from us. Thank you.
Please give him a big hand. Sadly, we have only 3 minutes left with this Q&A, so please understand for this short time. All right? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation, and that was really informative. I have a question on, who, since it's a DevOps startup, who you're selling to is very important. Who do you think, in your words, how would you characterize your ideal customer to be? And which part of the org, would you sell to in order to get the most traction?
So we basically targeting two kind of customer. First, the startup who are using 100% of the cloud environment, and second, the manufacturer who depends their server environment in their own server, but also using the cloud server as well.
Was it enough answer? And one last chance. All right, thank you.
Great presentation. Big fan of enterprise software. Quickly though, how much money have you raised and how much money do you need to raise in order to get to profitability?
That is a little hard question for me to answer directly. So if you don't mind, I can give you my name card so that you can get a right contact point to get an answer. I'm really sorry about that.
All right then, we're done here. So please give him a big applause once again. Thank you very much. And good works. Thank you. Please back to your seat. With this way. 네, 이쪽으로 하단해 주십시오. 네, and then let's move on to next session. I'd like to ask though the CMO EYL. Please welcome 백정현. 네, 백정현 상무님을 무대 위로 모시겠습니다.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonghyun Baek, and I'm a co-founder and chief marketing officer of EYL. We are getting ready for the quantum revolution, and some changes it brings. And in this short time, I'm going to talk about what we've been up to and our plans moving forward to the quantum revolution. Okay. Lately, the quantum technologies is creating significant challenges in the market. Okay, and it's being used for the super fast computing, very accurate sensing, and ultimately secure the communication. Somebody said that communication is dividing into the cybersecurity and networking. But this technology, can move us to solve our current difficult solution. But the challenge is that it will collapse of our modern crypto system because it's too fast. So some experts are saying that quantum threat will be expected within 3 years. And about the nationality tech control, and no countries will share their own quantum technology with the other countries. So becoming a quantum tech possessor will be a key priority. And this is a very, very expensive technology that the development of the commercializable technology is very, very important. So the question is that, are we really prepared for the quantum revolution? I think no, because nobody has the the technology to defend the quantum crisis. It's not working. Okay. This is our market and challenges. By the report from the Inside Quantum Technologies, the total market will be $21 trillion in 2030. And the McKinsey are saying that it will be $78 trillion. But we are just focusing on quantum networking and quantum cybersecurity market. And they have some challenges like this. And for the quantum networking, there's no repeater technology yet. And also, for the market competitiveness, we have to make some QRNG and the quantum random number generator and post-quantum cryptography into chip. It should be the chip integrated. And for solutions for QKD, the quantum key distribution distance and downsizing is our challenge. So far, we completed the first phase. It was the initial phase to address current security issues. We have microchip and the semiconductor IP type products. We call them nanoverse. It can be provided to secure all kinds of IoT devices, and we have the components and equipment products. The Applinks provides very secure encryption key for the crypto system, and linkers can be used for some security for the surveillance system. And also we have device type products that the Cipher is a crypto phone. We have the crypto phone. We provide some applications for the smart city solutions. Okay, we are now just entered the second phase to defend the future quantum threat. For the QKD appliance, we are collaborating with KT, Toshiba, and Korea University, and we make a collaboration program for the technical development. And for the post-quantum cryptography appliance, and EDIST and NIS from Korea will provide the standard algorithm, and we'll put the standard algorithm into the Nanoverse NC12 chip that we already made. And this is very, very important to enter for the market entry. And in the field of quantum network, we are making the space appliance, and we are collaborating with Thales Alenia Space and Hanwha Systems and Genoco. And this is it's already finished. This is a scale plan, and we have we are planning to get investment in 2 years to make our own packaging line, and we have future vision project in the future mobility, smart city, and aerospace. We have the semiconductor technology, and we are the diamond winner in the Mass Challenge Boston, and we did a very good project for the U.S. Air Force. Okay, this is our financial projection, and BEP will be 2026, and $49 million will be expected in 2028. Okay, this is our team, and we have 4 co-founders, and semiconductor team and co-founder, our CEO is from Samsung Electronics, and we have great members like this, and we have, 65% of our members are engineers. Okay, that's all I prepared. Yes, any questions? It's not working.
네, 마이크 좀 올려주시겠습니까?
So one of the things you showed is a big product slide that had a lot of products on it.
Yes.
Are you manufacturing all those products?
Yes, we design these products, and we design, and we have some partners to make some manufacturing. The company is making our products, but we have all IPs.
So what I derive from the slide is it looks like you're building some kind of random number generator.
Yeah.
What is the basis of the technology that you have behind it that makes it so special?
I mean, the random number generator, we have the original technology of a random number generator. Usually, the other companies use the lights, sometimes the laser to make a random number generator. But we put the very small radioactive isotope into very tiny chip, and we extract the randomness by measuring the time intervals between the particles from the radioactive isotope. It is completely random by the quantum theory, and nobody can predict. Yes.
Okay, and how much have you raised to date so
Sorry?
far? How much money have you raised to date so far? You said you're raising
yes,
now?
Yes, 8 million to maybe 20 million.
No, that's what you want. What have you already raised? How much so far?
So
Not
far,
what
it's
you want
about $10 million.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Any questions more?
Let me confirm. So you are fabless, right?
Yes.
And then you have a manufacturing partner specified?
Yes.
And then can you explain the technical background, how you generate random number?
Actually, we have actually it was an old technology in the paper, but we developed that, the theory to the microchip. And we have an engineer for the microchip, and we have some members from Samsung Electronics. So yeah, we could make.
So you don't use silicon photonics, you don't use superconducting technology, anything like that?
No, that is this is really different.
And you also have software stack on top
Yes,
of?
we have about half of our members are from software. Okay.
All right, then we have 2 minutes more for him and his presentations. Any more? Last chance. All right, then it seems that quite great and productive presentation he shared. All right, then please give him a big round of applause once again.
Thank you very much.
Back to your seat. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
All right, then I'd like to introduce the next presenter here, the Ju Young Lee, the CEO of Good Intelligence, onto the stage. He's already there. So please welcome him onto the stage with a big hands. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good Intelligence owns a platform technology of solving hard combinatorial optimization problems. This technology has been used for solving protein structure prediction, designing new solar cell materials, and developing a superhuman AI Baduk program. Today, I will show you how we solved the semiconductor physical design problem using this technology. To manufacture a semiconductor chip, you need a logical design and its physical layout. A typical chip contains hundreds of macro cells and millions of standard cells. Large macro cells are predefined modules, and standard cells are logical units. To perform physical design of a chip, you have to physically place cells inside a die and connect them by wiring. The first step is to place macro cells, and this job is usually carried out by expert engineers. Then the engineer will use EDA tools for placing millions of standard cells and wiring between them. Finally, if all the timing specifications are tested successfully, the whole process finishes. If not, we go back to the very beginning and we do the macro placement. So good macro placement is critical to finish physical design in time and reduce the time to market of a chip. The number of possibilities of placing 100 macro cells is about 10 to the 850, much larger than the number of atoms in the universe. For this reason, nobody has yet successfully tried to solve this macro placement problem by searching many possibilities using a computer program. Here, we need a powerful AI search algorithm. And with GI's search algorithm, we propose a powerful macro-place tool called GOAL. We applied GOAL to a test problem containing 104 macros and about 600,000 standard cells. Goal-generated design is shown on the right, and engineer-generated designs are shown on the left. When examined using a commercial EDA tool, the goal design satisfied all the intended specifications, and we find that goal placement is better in timing and frequency. More importantly, goal can generate this quality placement about 4 times faster than an engineer. Last year, we pivoted to the system semiconductor business, and this year we received government funding shown here. Most importantly, we are selected as a deep tech company in the SoC sector. After finishing feasibility tests with 2 design house companies, we are currently in the process of making an NDA with a leading fabless company. After NDA, tool tests of Goal and another GI product will follow. Our business is Our business is B2B, and customers are companies in the chip-making value chain. Global fabless companies shown here are top priority target customers, since they have endless needs for better and faster semiconductor products. Market for AI chip design software is growing 20% annually, reaching to about $1 billion by 2028. For years to come, GI will seek to cover the whole chip design software industry, and the expected market size is over $3 billion by 2028. Finally, an introduction of myself in terms of AI-related experience, and the summary of GI's core manpower is shown. Lately, the Korean government announced a special IPO program for deep tech companies like GI. With funding from venture capital sharing GI's vision, we will become a global EDA company in 3 to 5 years. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Would you please ask or give any comment? Please go ahead.
Who are your competitors?
Currently, maybe Synopsys or Cadence, or Siemens, they started giving new product for AI module for macro placement. But they are very in the early stage of introducing their products. And when I talk this with leading fabless company in Korea, they say that their performance is not met with this company. Yeah. Although there's a lot of advertisements of the effect of the product. I mean, AI module for the macro placement. When it is tested by a Korean fabless company, they do not meet their requirements yet.
So the chip placement EDA tool using the ML algorithm or AI technology has been in the market quite some time. Like you mentioned, the Synopsys, Cadence are leading EDA tool makers, and they're dominant in the market. And you are claiming that your performance is parity or...
No, don't take me wrong. So the whole EDA industry is not our major target yet. We aim to introduce an AI software for macro placement currently macro placements are all done by expert engineers. So you want to replace engineers working with our software.
Those expert engineers doesn't use any EDA tool?
The current EDA, conventional EDA tools are performing very poorly. So they cannot use the current one. And the most recent one using this deep learning is advertised by many companies, and the performance is not yet, it has to be improved. So basically, as of today, the most advanced macro placement is done by expert engineers.
So I'm still trying to understand, so are you trying to improve the performance, or are you just trying to improve the efficiency?
So the one I want to improve is the time to market. So when you have a fabless design, you need a layout to produce in a foundry. And you have to repeat this until it meets the standard. So it can take, sometimes it takes more than 2 years. So we want to reduce the time for physical design. And we want to replace the manpower of the human experts in this area.
So in your estimate, how much
So I showed
time are
you
saving?
one
Yeah.
example that with 104 macros, our solution is obtained about 4 times faster. Still, the solution is better.
What about the performance? In addition to time to market, I understand that you can reduce 4x faster. You can achieve 4x faster, turnaround time compared to the expert engineers. How about the chip performance?
So I told you that the timing and the frequency is also improved. But typically, the problem is to meet the standard. Yeah. So there's a certain standard that you have to pass. Until then, you have to repeat this process. So my design meets the standard and is slightly better than the human design. And when I discussed this with a leading fabless company, they say that they have hundreds of designs to finish, and 95% of them, they want to finish with an algorithmic way, because they have only a limited amount of human resources to deal with more important design. So some designs, they want to finish, and if you can finish it with my software 4 times faster, you can replace the human power for that area. And that's the way to reduce the time to market.
Sadly, we have no more time here. So, okay, then please give him a big applause once again. Thank you very much for your great and good presentation. Thank you very much. And then let me move on to the next presentation. I'd like to introduce 철수 Lee, the CEO of UND. 이철수 대표님 무대로 모시겠습니다. Please give him a big applause onto the stage. Please be punctual.
This is not my company.
Right then.
Presentation.
Excuse me. Would you please change the slide, because this is not for him and his company, so. UND 이철수 대표님 맞으시죠?
네네.
네.
Can you please pull up the slide for
로비고스 슬라이드가
UND? This is
오픈이 된
Robi
건가요?
Ghost slide. So
this is
can
slide
we
for
please
Robi
pull up
Ghost?
the right
It's not
slide?
His company. So would you please change the slide for UND? Hold on, please. 네. UND 회사 자료로 오픈해 주셔야 됩니다. 맞을까요? 확인해 주시기 바랍니다.
Yep.
내가 alright then.
Hello, my name is Bruce Lee, CEO of UND. So we are robot startup based on the innovative magnetic technology. That's why our brand name is MacBot, is from the magnetic robot. So UND is the English two words that I like the most. We have the unique and different magnetic technology and the robot product. We make a robot automatic tool changer. It's the first in the world to commercialize a completely wireless automatic tool changer. So industrial robot, cobot, those makers make only the by wrist compared to the humans. Like robot hands, robot tools, so-called in English is end effector. Actually, that's the core of robotics. It's totally different market and suppliers. So massive production conveyor to the small batch cell, customized flexibility of the production. Smart factory with AI robotics is grow up, but investment is also higher and higher. So ROI we have to worry about. So this is the important page. So if you need to solve the 4 different kind of the process, you have to buy and then you have to use the 4 different kind of the robots to perform 4 different process. But with the MacBot automatic tool changer, you need only to buy 1 robot. And then we exchange the tools and the effector with one robot to process the 4 kind of process, 5 kind of process, any process with one robot. So that means you have to invest, you can invest with a low cost, efficient process. So, sorry. So we have the unique and different magnetic technology. Once it's on and off, you need to use the only low DC power. After on, you don't need any power, but we can keep the magnetism. That's our special and different technology. That makes the MacBot automatic tool changer. Robot automatic tool changer market will be over 1 million set per year and then $2 billion per year after 2025. So our competitor, so they have to use the air compressor. Air compressor meaning is the AC power with a long, complicated wired line. I think let me show you the example in moving picture. So pneumatic is piston down. So that after then the ball is a rock, and then piston is the opposite side up, and then ball is a knock. That is a conventional process by our competitor. It's very complicated solution. But UND MacBot, we have many strong points. But first is mobility. We can use by mobile robot. Also, we have the competitive scalability and then price cost competitive. So you can see in 2021, wow. So it's in exhibition. So you can see the no wire, but our MacBot automatic tool changer can change many different kind of food tech cooking solution. So you can see the 7 or 8 different kind of the tools with one robot. So we already got the UR Plus certification from Universal Robot in 2020. So we already have the POC with the Hyundai, Kia Automotive, VIA, etc. to pick and place and exchange the tools. Also, not pick and place we already done, and then this is Boston Dynamics, the battery changing process we already successed the business. So last year we reached 12 million. This year we will be reach over 50 million US dollar. We already have our own building and then factory in Gumi. So we expand our market from manufacturing to the food and beverage service robot market, and then we already have 2 big contracts with a big franchise. Last year we awarded the 2022 Korea Robot of the Company of the Year. We already have many proven in Korea and then expand our market to the USA and then globally. So we have 16 experts, including me. We are robot and the magnetic technology expert. So unique and different. We will be the global top-tier robot startup by 2026, and then we will become the world's best magnetic platform entrepreneur, in the near future. Thank you.
Is there anyone who have a question or a comment or any suggestion? So please feel free to ask him.
So how much faster is your technology in changing the tool versus your competitors?
It's 0.2 seconds. We need to have only 0.2 seconds,
And your competitors?
Actually, the time is similar, like 1 to 2 seconds we change it 0.2 seconds. Of course, we are faster. But the important thing is their AC line is air compression is necessary. But our base is DC. So the meaning is we can use our solution with mobile robot. They have to fix it with air compression.
Thank you very much for your presentation and congratulations on all of the traction and success you've had so far.
Thank you.
You mentioned POCs with a number of automotive companies in Boston Dynamics. Are there other industries that you're looking to move into?
Of course, manufacturing side is our priority. But as I said, we are already involved in the cooking robot exchange, like a barista robot. You know the barista robot, they have the coffee machine. A coffee machine is already done. They only pick and place. But we can exchange the tools with the 10 tools. We can make a stir and then make the, anything. So I already have my own building to make the noodle robot and then like barbecue robot, anything. So we already have 2 big contracts. I cannot announce here, but if you contact me, I can show you what I have.
Okay, so which 3D software did you use to make your product?
Software, you mean?
Yeah.
So
3D.
actually, we make the hardware, electronic, electron, and the firmware, not the software at this moment, because we use the robot. So robot company provide, as you know, the pendant control something.
So I'm saying to make your product, the end effector, what 3D software did you use? Do you know SolidWorks or?
Of course, we use the SolidWorks, UG or Inventor. We have the drawing the solution. We have our engineer, also electronic engineer or firmware engineer. We all have.
Okay.
Yeah. Mainly SolidWorks is our one of the tools.
Yeah. So maybe I'll take your contact because I'm from SolidWorks, and so every year we have our user conference. Next year it'll be in Dallas in February. So Universal Robot and all these guys are our users basically. So they are there. I know those people. So maybe if you have a chance, you can also come there and we can make some introductions.
Great. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, I joined in the Taiwan automation exhibition with UR. UR has booth, and they have our product into their booth.
Yeah.
So we have many customers. Yeah, thanks to the Universal Robot because we are cross partner.
Right.
Okay. Please contact me. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great, Dan. Actually, he has 2 minutes more. So, is there anyone? Yes, last one, please.
Yeah, very interesting technology. I'm curious, how profitable is your product?
Our strong point is very profitable because robot itself and then end effector prices are already very high. Like USA ATI, Schunke Jirma, like a German company, Japan company, their price level is one piece is 5,000, 10,000 US dollar, but we can make less than 500 US dollar. So.
Right, so in terms of gross margin, right? So software, for example, loves to have something around a 95% gross margin. So what's the gross margin on this type of a product?
So at least the net profit, I can make the 40% or 50%. Sales revenue is more than 50%. I can make it. Yeah.
All right, great, Dan. So please give him a big hand once again. Thank you very much.
Yep.
It was really great and meaningful time for all of us here. Thank you so much. And then let's invite our next presenter named Kim Soo-hoon, CEO of Delta X. Please welcome him onto the stage with a big hand.
All right. Good day, everyone. Hi, Karen. My name is Steven. I'm CEO of Deeptech. We are AI computer vision specialist. In this presentation, let me start with the evolution of automobile. You know, this is a classic car that I used to drive before, but I still like this car. But thanks to highly advanced technology like electronics, communication, and software, now we're enjoying super fancy high-tech car. But I got one question. How would you define smart car? Do you know how many sensors are used in one single car? There are more than 400 sensors installed in a car. But this many sensors will be enough to build a smart car? I would not say yes. It's not going to be enough. All right, I'll give you some example that what we try to build. You know, one little kid is sitting right next to her mom, driving in a car, but she has a lot of things to worry about, so she doesn't seem to have enough time to put attention on her kids. But her kid is sad today, and she started to cry. But mom is too busy to know it. But we have one AI smart camera, and we can analyze age, gender, and emotion, how he or she feels. So because of that, we can analyze many other things. So now we let the car play a music that she or he might like. Now she feels much better. Okay. So I say this is not sensing. This is about understanding. Sensors basically don't understand, just sense. So this is a smart car that we want. I'll give you another example. One little girl is being left behind in a car alone while their parents are shopping. Unfortunately, the temperature of car is rising, and situation is going to be a little dangerous. So we have keep watching on some scenario and in all the situation in a car. Now we know we need something. So our model let the car to reach her mom, but never answers.
에어컨, 냉난방기를 다 모았네요.
Well, I don't see any next slide, so wait, a little technical problem here. Can you change it to next slide, please? All right, so instead we call emergency center immediately and ask some help. Now she is safe. This is a smart car. So time of sensing has gone, and time of understanding is coming. Deeptech, we're developing computer vision technologies with understanding and reasoning capabilities. In Deeptech, we have 70 brilliant researchers working together, and they're all from top school in Korea, and they are all smart and creative and dedicated. Next slide, please. We're from 15 different countries. We're an international team, and we love to share our cultures, background, and knowledge. Our in-cabin monitoring system, our camera, not only can detect age, gender, and emotion, but also we can detect many other things, such as seatbelt, human body's information, window, hands-on steering wheel, and collisions. And also we know different type of distraction of human drivers. We have function of motion control and safety lock, child lock. Also we detect left item and occupancy too. All these different 15 number of tasks can be done with one single camera. On top of this in-cabin monitoring systems, we develop all different type of automobile-related camera solution by ourselves. We have very fantastic semantic line detection models. We have state-of-the-art single camera-based depth estimation models. Also, we develop pseudo LiDAR, which is pure camera solutions who generate 3D point cloud just like that LiDAR and radar does. We have multi-camera stitching technologies. Also, we develop ADAS for heavy vehicles. Also, we have drone camera solution, which can convert 2D into 3D easily, so they help them to analyze all environment more effectively and efficiently. Now we're developing wheelchair for handicap ADAS solutions too. Sorry. So with all these core technologies, Deeptech solutions is really accurate and fast and small in size. Now, with all these core technologies, Deeptech is working with Hyundai and Kia on more than 12 projects. Now, the era of a smart car is coming. Among all other technologies, I say computer vision is the key technologies. Small difference in thinking always make a big difference in results. We call this small difference thinking Delta X. We're developing computer vision technologies beyond human eyes, and I assure you our tech will innovate and help you to enjoy smart car that understands you. So trust Delta X, be with us. Thank you.
All right, please.
Sure. So there's a lot of companies in this space. You didn't really talk about your competition. Can you tell us why this is 10 times better than everything else that's out there in the marketplace today?
Well, when we talk about KPI of the computer vision solutions, we can say accuracy and the size of solutions also are whether the feasibility that solution can be embedded on the car environment. We have a very good team, and we are ready to develop all different type of application in car application, requirement. We're ready to put our solution in a very tiny computation environment needed in a car. So we're fast and very accurate. And for example, our depth estimation model is 5 times faster than state-of-the-art of our other computers. And it can replace even LiDAR and radar because we produce 3D point cloud with one single camera. So this is some solution and approach that none of other computers are used to have. So that's why we can say our performance can outperform other computers.
All right. Any questions more?
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. One follow-up question on the in-cabin camera and sensing. You're detecting a lot of personal information, age, gender, behavior. How do you stay compliant with privacy regulation and think about de-identifying that data?
Basically, we do not store and save any private information in our systems. Because once we get any income from the video camera, we just to analyze and then predict and then estimate something when we just let it go. So that's why we don't have any problem of that privacy infringement. And also, in addition to that, we have some type of face synthesis technology so that we still keep very important information of that face. Also, we convert and change the rest of the information so that we prevent all those privacy being infringed by anything else. So that is our approach.
All right, we can talk more about this presentation. Just 1 minute. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit more on how you think about inferencing and fine-tuning? And is that hosted in-house or do you use third parties? How do you think about your stack, the tech stack?
I'm sorry, you were talking about investment?
Oh, no, I'm talking about in terms of the AI component, how it detects, how it has sentiment analysis. Obviously, it comes with an AI stack of sorts where you have to train your data,
yes,
host it somewhere, and then fine-tune it for the specific use cases. So how do you think about that?
Most of model we're building is from supervised learning. That means that we need a massive data set. So we collect massive data set, we do some of data processings, and then using all those massive data set, we train our model. So that's why typical way that we develop our model. So basically, we need lots of data. So model development, well, that is also a key part, of course, but I can say more than 70 or 80% is about data.
All right. I hope that it was quite enough answer for you. Right, time is up here. So thank you very much for your dedication and contribution here. Please give him a big hand. Thank you very much. And back to your seat. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our next presenter, Jung-hyun Lee, Chief Marketing Officer of RobiGos. So please join me welcoming her onto the stage with a huge round of applause.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jung-hyun Lee. I'm from RobiGos. I'm the CMO of RobiGos. So we are offering smart supply chain management system for the retailers, and also we're providing mobility control solutions, not only for the truck drivers, but also UAM, urban air mobility, and the drone system. We started from providing the demand forecasting data to the manufacturing companies and logistics companies so that manufacturers can produce the exact amount. That means they can save the inventory cost, which is more than 40% of the operation cost. So now we're offering this solution not only in Korea, but also in Malaysia, Parks and Department Store entity in Lion Group. For mobility control solution, we're offering the real-time location tracking and monitoring delivery progress, and also drivers can see the next dispatch in real time. And also our AI system offers the routing. For example, if we have 10 drivers, 8 hours a day, 500 packages, then our AI system will give drivers today's delivery routing. And on top of our TMS solution, for ESG environment, we developed Eco TMS solution, which is we provide the carbon emission analysis data based on vehicle travel distance, speed, and time information. This is our new project. It's called Smart Container System. What we want to do is for the reefer and frozen container, before we can only monitor the temperature and humidity, but we are working with Yahsat, which is based in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, with their satellite communication. We made the remotely controllable system for smart containers. So we can not only monitor the temperature and humidity in real time, but also we can remotely actually control the system. This is a long-term project. We want to develop the integrated platform, including trucks, drones, and UAM system. And last month, we have participated in K-UAM Grand Challenge with the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure, with Into Sky in Korea, and with Columbia Max Drone, we are developing the software for the medicine delivery from the pharmacist to hospitals. Not only in Korea, but also in Malaysia and Indonesia, we're very popular in Southeast Asia right now. Sorry, it's not. Yeah, and also we're working with Hyundai Globus and Lion Group. We're planning for the POC this year. Our CEO, Taeyoung Kim, have master's degree in electric engineering in McGill University, and he has background in AI researcher in Hyundai Robotics. We have 14 employees divided into marketing, management, and R&D team. And our team is more than 80% is engineers, software engineers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your punctual and short presentation. All right, let's begin the Q&A.
Yes, one quick question. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very interesting. You had on one of your final slides a fundraising ask. You're currently raising money. Can you expand on how much money you're raising right now and what the target profile of investor is?
Right. We just started getting the seed investment. Our lead investor is SK and Star Ventures. Our pre-valuation is $6 million, and we're raising 10% of it. And we already got $0.4 million.
And maybe one final question to follow up. Is the company generating revenue right now, and what do you expect 2023 revenue will be?
So we started in 2021, and last year's revenue was $0.4 million. And this year we're expecting to have $0.8 million, and plus investment and government R&D funding, we are expecting to have $1.4 million this year.
I noticed that you're in Asia. Do you plan to expand to other markets?
Yes, we are now, Southeast Asia is like our go-to market right now, but we're working with Dubai and Saudi Arabia as well. And I want to expand in American market, US market as well. So yeah, we're very open-minded. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. And you have 2 minutes more for this Q&A.
So I'm still not very clear on how you're different from what other logistic companies are doing already.
Right. We get a lot of questions like that. Many big companies like Coupang or Amazon or big companies have their own TMS, WMS, IMS system, but we're more targeting small and medium SMEs companies. And yeah, they have their own IT system, TMS system, etc. But we are offering more cheaper price to small and medium-sized companies. So we're targeting different. Yeah.
All right then, no more. That's enough. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you so
great
much.
presentation. Please give her a big applause. All right. With this, we have 2 more presentations left. So I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Yi Chan, the CEO of Flowtech. Please welcome him onto the stage with a big hand.
Thank you. So my name is Chan Lee, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Flowtech. And Flowtech provides robotic solution for e-commerce warehouse automation, especially for picking and put away process. So more than 99% of warehouses are picking manually, and they are spending more than a half overall cost of operation for now. But here's the problem. So there are many existing solutions, including AMRs, AGVs, and DAS, but they are having a hard time to meet SLAs directly, and there are so many different needs in e-commerce warehouse. But here's the opportunity. So there is $12.7 billion market in the US alone. And my name, I'm Chan Lee. So I have done robotics research in tech and logistics science in Korea. Our team also has hands-on experience from robotic software development to hardware mass production. And also we have a product manager from CJ Logistics or LG CNS and Coupang, which have very domain-based knowledge in warehouse automation and warehouse operation. So we have strong team. So how do we solve the problem? We actually help clients to deploy their warehouse robots in their warehouses 5 times more faster and 5 times more efficiently. So we have streamlined all the customer's journey, the needs for contacting more than 5 contact points, including a hardware company, software company, and also system integrating company. But we integrated into one product. And in terms of outbound process, we can actually do the same amount of work that needs 10 workers into 5 robots and 2 workers. So here was the video, but in the left side, it means the manual process. So he brings the cart to do the manual process, but we can actually alternate the cart into robots, and we can reduce their walking time and also the time to decide something. So our core technology is domain-based optimization engine. So from interface server, automation system, work control system, robot management system are all can be achieved in the one software. It can be achieved by just installing some tablets on the robot. It is backed by a three-step optimization technology from clusters of the orders and by item and also by the work. So we optimize the work by a 3-step that can lead to more efficient work in the warehouses. And it is backed by fleet management system. We have rigid fleet management system in terms of the very dynamic environments in warehouses. We've already working with Korean top 3 major logistics company or e-commerce companies, including LX Pantos, Lotte, and GS Retail for now. And we have more than 2 more clients right now. All of these achievements are achieved within 2 years. So we are a 2-year-old startup, and we have completed pilot tests and also deploying our solution in major logistics company. We have raised $4.3 million so far from Kakao, Naver, and Hyundai Motors, which is a Korean giant company. And we are aiming for a Series A round for $10 million next half of the 2024. Yes, so this is our short introduction of Flotik, and we are seeking for warehouse customers and system integrator, and also related CVCs to work with us. So thank you for listening.
All right then, please begin the Q&A.
On average, how much money would you save by using one of your, so I think it said that you can save 5 people's jobs by replacing with a robot. So like on average, how much money would you save a company?
Okay, so yeah, let's say 10 workers are working in the warehouses, and on average, we, for months, $2,000 per each workers are spent in the US, in Korea. And we charge $1,000 per each robot per month, so we can actually save more than 8 workers to save, and also pay for 5 workers for that. So we have half of the cost of manual process right now per each robot.
So how much does it cost to make each robot?
Cost to make our robot. So we are just making robot one by one right now, but we are targeting to make the robot in less than $10,000 per each, because we have the core member of product owner in robotics team, who was in charge of mass production in Bear Robotics, which is a large service robots company.
All right then, any more questions? Oh, sorry.
What is the main advantage, competitive advantage of your robot comparing to other solutions in this market?
Yes. Yeah, our main difference is in the software between the WMS, which is warehouse management system, and our robot. Many other competitors have only hardware or only have interface server, but we have interface server and all the system in between the robot control system and interface server in one software. So many other companies have to contact or collaborate with two or three companies, but we can actually solve the problem in one software. So it leads to short integration time or short deployment time right now.
All right, then one last minute. Is there anyone who, yes, thank you, please.
Yeah, interesting technology. I'm just curious what the customer feedback has been.
Customers' feedback. So that's a good question. So in terms of three other companies, they also have tried robots before our robot, but they say they are saying that we are very easy to customize their needs in terms of software and also hardware, because we make the software in one integrated software, and also we make hardware ourselves. So that is the main voice of customer.
Just a suggestion, you should be mentioning that in your slide.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you very much for your detailed answer and question. Thank you very much. Please give him a big hand once again. Would you please be back your seat? Right, and with this, he's gonna be our last presenter for this session. I'd like to invite Kwon Dong-soo, co-CEO of Rowan Surgical. Please join me in welcoming him onto the podium. Please give him a big hand.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today you will hear a little bit different story. I will talk about our dream, and then I will show you how it is being realized. Rowan Surgical. Can you imagine what does it mean? Robotic endoscopy, I named it. But my company people interpret robot enables all kinds of surgery. Help me? Help me? Okay. This is our dream. So, some of you may know Intuitive Surgical, robotic surgical system, and laparoscope surgery. Their company value is $100 billion in 30 years. We have competitive model already. We also have an endoscopic procedure platform, endoscopic surgery platform, microsurgery robot platform. This is our dream. But not only dream, we made it. We had all the prototype. We are commercializing one by one. My name is Dong-soo Kwon, KAIST professor, 27 years. We have done medical robot research for a long time. With 8 graduate students, we made a company 5 years ago. Currently, we have a 14 PhD including 8 founding PhDs from KAIST. Now we are 70 people. Now 2018, we got angel funding. 2019, we got pre-series A funding. And then we made a prototype. And then went to animal test. So we have got GMP. And then we made the Germanix. That is the first commercial model. And then we finished EMC safety test in 21, we have got Series A funding, about $25 million. And then we finished Germany's clinical study. And then we have got some designation of innovative medical device from Korean FDA, MFDS. 2022, we finally got Germany's approval from Korean MFDS clearance. We also got ISO certificate. 2023, we already got some pre-B rounding. And then we have been selected outstanding startup. The most important thing is we have got innovative medical technology from Korean MFDS. That means we can sell this product with a reimbursement code. So we can start business. Our idea is making the surgical robot like a snake, very flexible. And then we can put inside our body to many places. Head and neck, gastrointestinal, colorectal, urology area. This is our first product and second commercial product. This is about to come out to the market. It is expected to come out to the Korean market this December. And this one is being commercialized right now. First one, called Germanix. It is for the kidney stone treatment surgery. If there are some stones inside the kidney, we put scope inside, and then with a laser, cut it, stones into small pieces, and then with a basket, we take it out. Current manual surgery is very repetitive, then collaborative is very difficult, and they are all exposed to radiations. We solved all the difficulties. We don't have any, please. Okay, how can you do? The most important video is not working. Oh, here. Could you press it? Video is not working, so our first product, that is a robotic flexible ureteroscope system that will change the whole surgery paradigm. With a manual surgery, it is being robotized like a Da Vinci system. It has many advanced features. We can make a fine motion and the gross motion, and then it has a force sensing, so medical doctors understand how difficult it is and what's inside. And then we can estimate stone, and then it has an auto extraction function, and then it has a safety protocol, and then radiation protections. We have gone through all those big hurdles of medical device. KGMP, ISO, MS approval, and then innovative medical technology designations. Key requirement has been completed. So that is coming out to the market. Second product is being commercialized. some of you who has gone to some surgery room, you may understand. Open surgery is very painful for patients. So currently, laparoscope surgery, making those 4 holes and then do surgery, that is becoming much more popular. And then nowadays, single port surgery is trying to be achieved. So we make this flexible endoscopic surgery called modular endo. That is a non-invasive endoluminal surgery is possible. Without incision, we can do surgery like this. And then we can change some endoscope and the surgery tools, 25 millimeter or 15 millimeter diameters. So we can change it according to the surgeries. I'm sorry, the video is not working. So our robot system, we can do all kinds of surgery, from the nose and then do brain surgery, or we can go through a mouse and then do surgery at the neck, or for gynecology surgery, we can go inside through the bottom, or we can go into the kidneys without incision, go through the ureters. And then we can do some stomach cancers without incision, going through mouse and then do surgery from the inside. I feel very sorry not to show with the video, but currently we are in the stage here. We just got the designation of innovative medical technology, and then Jaminix sales is starting to the Korean market first. So we are going to open Series B at the end of this year until next first quarter. And then we are expecting to get the FDA approval at the end of next year. We already started for FDA and the CE clearance. And then we are going to start global sales from 25. And then we plan to go to Kosdaq IPO in 25 second quarter. My today's purpose is to meet investors who can lead us to become a global company. We have dream. That was a possibility. But I have shown you the possibility becomes a reality with the first product. Second product is being prepared. Third, fourth product is in research stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your hard work and presentation. Due to time constraint, we're gonna have just 1 or 2 minutes for Q&A session. So would you please?
Hi, thank you for your presentation. How long would it take a doctor to train to use the robot?
Yes, our focus was to make the very intuitive control. So with some things, they can do operation within a day, and then they can be expert within a week. And then if they want to be a top level, it takes about 3 months.
How many robots is currently deployed in how many hospitals?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Still developing.
We have finished the clinical trial in Yonsei Severance Hospital and then Seoul National Hospital. And then there are several candidates who wants to buy our product. So we are going to launch 2 products at the end of this December.
All right, sorry, due to time constraint, we need to wrap up here this first part of this session. So it was Roy Surgical. Thank you very much for your great presentation and Q&A. Thank you. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to IR pitching for hyper-gap startup 1,000 plus project with our great global CVCs company. And I believe that we are able to yield so much productive and meaningful outcomes with everyone. And then we will now have a short break for everyone's refreshment. And continue with the reverse pitching session by our 9 global service companies. So please back to your seat again after a short break. Thank you. Second part of Deep's 1000 Plus and Try Everything 2023. Without any further ado, let us dive into the reverse pitching session with our honorable speakers here. All the presentations will be delivered by investment managers and non-global CVC companies. And then I hope that, I strongly believe that this session will be a great and meaningful chance to learn and broaden our perspective for our deep tech startup companies. And please note that each presentation is assigned 8 minutes of time. So we kindly ask all the speakers to be punctual. Thank you for your kind cooperation with these matters. Right, and then without any further ado, now I'd like to introduce our honorable speakers. It is my great pleasure to introduce Christopher Boone, Managing General Partner of Symbol Capital Group. Please welcome him onto the stage with a huge round of applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As mentioned, my name is Christopher Boone. I am the Managing General Partner of Symbol Capital Group, a technology-focused private equity firm based in Silicon Valley. On behalf of my entire Symbol team, thank you very much for your time today. This is my first trip to Seoul. It's an honor to be here discussing the opportunities around global technology innovation and the investment opportunities that we see ahead. Symbol Capital Group is a private equity firm comprised of the following 4 partners who collectively have over 100 years of experience in technology investing and operations, educated from esteemed institutions including MIT, Wharton, Carnegie Mellon, Harvard Business School. And each of us have worked at companies including Google, Motorola, HP, NASA, and JP Morgan. Looking at the market, the venture market peaked in 2021 with over $330 billion invested. And despite that exuberance, the statistics behind venture investing prove the idea of high risk, very high return. Yet over 75% of venture-backed companies fail, meaning they return $0 to their respective investors. And that equates to nearly $250 billion in lost capital. When a company fails, what happens to that technology? And what are those tens of millions of dollars invested in R&D end up? More often than not, they are orphaned, put on a shelf, and no longer supported. And that inefficiency is the basis of our investing thesis. We repurpose novel technology into new industries where it can solve significant problems for which it was never intended. We invest across nearly all technology sectors, often seeking to repurpose technology into enterprise software, but sourcing initial technologies come from all over the place. With this thesis, our first fund achieved an industry-leading 39.7% IRR after fees, an unprecedented amount. A few examples of our thesis at work. Coveroo was a consumer product company that we acquired. We sold off the manufacturing business and turned their design software into an enterprise trademark management system, which we then licensed to Major League Baseball, the NBA, NHL, the full NCAA programs, and later sold that to Major League Baseball. Vesuvi was a computer image analytics technology initially designed around advertising technology. We repurposed that company into a medical imaging solution using machine learning to help detect cancer in pathology biopsy slides. We later sold that company to Siemens. We are proud to work with honored partners and leading venture capital firms and corporations globally, including Intel, Cisco, Google, HP, and IBM, each of whom help source our technology acquisitions, as well as being potential acquirers at the end. And we welcome the opportunity to work with the esteemed corporations that we're meeting here at this forum this week. We hope to help you all realize greater value in your technology investments, and we thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for your detailed and informative presentation for all of us. Right then, I'm very happy to invite our honorable next speaker, Niels Stein, partner of BCGX. Please welcome him onto the podium with a big round of applause. Point is here, onto the podium. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Niels Stein, and I'm a partner at BCGX. We are the tech build and design unit of Boston Consulting Group, with about 3,000 folks around the world, 2/3 of those software engineers, data scientists, and the other third product builders, designers, and growth marketing folks. Our mission is to build, invent, and launch and invest in industry-changing businesses together with the world's most influential corporations. And it's the second part of that sentence that's the most important. Together with the world's most influential corporations. Our thesis is that corporates sit on tremendous assets that they can leverage to build unfairly advantaged businesses in market. And that's what we do. And how we do it is we fuse the elements of bringing unfair advantage to a venture through corporate assets together with the dynamics of building a startup. Moving fast, being scrappy, and iterating and being fearless in innovation. We've, over the last 7, 8, 9 years, have built about 200 or close to 300 such ventures and launched live in market across industries, across verticals, from financial services, banking, insurance, all the way through to industrial goods, deep in oil and gas. About 50% of what we've built and launched in market is B2C. The other half are B2B businesses. And how we do it is we bring multidisciplinary talent into a venture building process. So as I mentioned earlier, of our 3,000 folks around the world, 2/3 are engineers, software engineers, data science. The other third are real product builders. And we partner together with BCG. Of course, we work together with their clients to build these businesses and put them in market. We have codified methodology, proprietary tools, and then access to BCG's reach and global network that gives us an unfair advantage. In Southeast Asia specifically, where I'm based in Singapore, we have, over the last 5 years or so, launched and invested in 24, 25 such businesses. We have created about an estimated $6 billion of enterprise value through those 24 businesses. We believe and have calculated we touch about 50 million users per month through those businesses and have created more than 5,000 jobs. The interesting thing is, because of the nature of leveraging unfair corporate advantage, we've actually inversed the power law. So about 80% of those are actually still operating at or above expectation. And in the context of a corporate, we do this pretty rapidly. From paper to product in market in less than 12 months. It sounds long for a startup, but is incredibly fast in the corporate world. And last but not least, just how to get started, how we do this. Essentially, we work across 3 phases, and we can start the journey together with the corporate at any part. Upfront at the innovation part, in the middle when there's already something in the company that needs to be built or turned into a product, or even something that is built, existing, and needs to be commercialized. And then underneath at the bottom is we actually have the ability to build an internal corporate venturing capability together with corporate partners, and have done this a number of times around the world. So that is us, BCGX, in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your great dedication and contribution with this time. All right. Yes, it is my great pleasure to introduce our next distinguished speaker, Han-gil Kim, Investment Manager of Applied Ventures. So would you please come up to the stage? Please welcome him onto the stage with a huge round of applause.
I thought I was third. I guess not.
Me?
마이크 오픈. 네.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gil Kim. My Korean name is Kim Han-gil. So I was born and raised here, and then I relocated to US a couple of years ago. So it's my pleasure to introduce Apply Ventures to you all. So let me start with the semiconductor industry outlook. Semiconductor industry has been growing from 0 to $500 billion revenue size within for the past 70 years, and now thanks to the hype of the AI industry, it is expected to grow another 500 billion in the next just 7 years. Applied Materials is a semiconductor and display equipment manufacturer based in Silicon Valley, US, and we have a little more than a 25 billion revenue last year. And if you're not familiar with the semiconductor chip manufacturing processes, there are a bunch of different steps that require to build a single chip. And for 7 nanometer chip, you may heard about it at 7 nanometer, 5 nanometer, 2 nanometer chips design, and it requires more than 3,000 steps. And you can categorize into 5 different big categories, and Applied Materials is either number 1 or number 2 companies except the patterning step. Korea has been a good partner and one of our key region for our parent company's revenue. Last year's revenue was slightly more than $4 billion and third largest country in the world. But some years we are second largest, some years we're the largest revenue contributor in terms of the revenue to our mother company. We also have a huge presence in South Korea. We have more than 2,000 employees, and it has been operating almost 35 years now. So with that, Applied Ventures is a corporate venture arm of Applied Materials. Like I just described what we do. And we invest up to $100 million per year. And we invest early stage, we invest late stage, we invest stage agnostically. And we have invested up to more than $400 million so far across 18 different countries. Czech Republic was our 18th country that we invested, which was closed in the last March. Obviously, semiconductor and display are our core markets, but we also invest into very different applications such as AI, battery, or life sciences, ESG, optics, AR, VR, and supply chains, and so on. These are how we invest. We develop the investment thesis into several different categories. These are the selective examples that where we focus. For example, data economy, which AI and big data is driving rapidly these days. We identify what Applied Materials can do, and then Applied Ventures define what are our core technologies and what can we source from the startups, and then we identify the candidates and we finally make an investment. Sensor and communication, connectivity, ESG, and carbon-related technologies, and health and longevity is a good example of our investment thesis. Just like the other CVCs, we work with corporate venture arms and top-tier financial VC investors, and also we do small LP investment across the multiple countries. We are trying to develop a good relationship with governments in Korea, Taiwan, and New York State. We actually have a separate fund that has special purposes to identify good startups in Korea. We have 2 separate funds in Korea and 1 in Taiwan. And we are partnering with Ministry of SME and Startup based in Korea. And our first fund was launched in 2017. We invested 6 companies. 5 out of 6 are based in Korea, and 4 out of 6 went IPO. 5th one is filing IPO, and we're hoping 6 out of 6 companies go public anytime soon. And we also launched, thanks to the success of the first fund, second fund was closed last year with the same LP. Why Korea? Because Korea is very innovative, and we see a lot of disruptive and innovative technologies and entrepreneurs. And also, as a semiconductor equipment manufacturer, we have a robust supply chain built in Korean ecosystem, and we want to leverage and we want to enhance by collaborating and investing startups. So, why Apply Ventures? We, as a CVC arm, we not only invest equity and we deploy the capital investment, we also support our startup partners for manufacturing capability, customer network, supplier network, and our know-how, so that we both entities can collaborate each other and make a better future all together. So venture funding is a small piece of Apply Ventures does. Manufacturing channel know-how networks is something we can enhance and add value to the customer so that startups can cross the chasm. Let me wrap up my presentation presenting this slide, which happened last June. The Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, visited our campus and announced that we will build $4 billion R&D center in heart of the Silicon Valley. And if you look into the third bullet point, this is not only for us, not only for the big companies like NVIDIA, Intel, Samsung, TSMC, but also we are hoping that this could be a good bridge between Applied Materials and Applied Ventures to our startup and academic research and labs, so that we can finally commercialize their brilliant idea into high volume manufacturing semiconductor technologies. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Hangil Kim. We deeply appreciate for your great support and contribution with this session. All right then, please allow me to introduce our next speaker, Dong-Soo Kim, CEO of LG Technology Ventures. He's going up to the stage, so please welcome him onto the stage with a big round of applause.
Well, okay, thank you very much. Actually, I only have 1 slide, so I really don't need to Pat. But yeah, it's really a pleasure, my pleasure to be presenting to you about LG Technology Ventures. I think you might have heard about LG Tech Ventures from the media quite a bit, but we are the first corporate venture capital of LG Group that was established in Silicon Valley. So we were founded rather recently in May of 2018. So a little bit more than 5 years. So before, each of the companies were investing separately from the balance sheet, but at the LG Group decided that a dedicated venture capital team was needed. That was, with the real dedicated investment professionals that were managing funds very similar to a typical Silicon Valley venture capital firms. So. Yeah, so now here we are. Right now we are managing about $680 million of fund assets. The funds come from right now 7 different LG companies. That's LG Electronics, LG Display, LG Innotek, LG Chem, LG Energy Solution, LG CNS, and LG U+. So yeah, so again, I mean, some of these companies we already started fund 2, so far we have raised 10 funds. Yeah, last year we had a most active year. Actually, a lot of people talk about the venture market slowing down, but at least we see it as opportunities. So we invested $90 million in 27 deals. We also invest worldwide. Although we are based in Silicon Valley, we've invested, we have multiple deals in Europe, Israel, Korea, of course, and also a couple deals in Southeast Asia. But because we are located in the US, we tend to be more US-centric. So a large majority of deals are based, of the companies that we invest are based in the US. Otherwise, we have 22 team members. We have 9 people in the investment, 9 investment professionals. Actually, it's made out of 3 managing directors in the investment team. They all have over 10 years of venture capital investment, either in a financial VC firm or a CVC. Also, to complement that, then we have 6 people in the business development team. And actually, this is a very important function for a CVC because the business development team members actually do come from other LG companies, and they are the ones who connect the startups with the right people within LG. Actually, that's in many cases, a very important value that we can provide to the startups. There are a lot of startups who want to work with LG, but just getting in front of the right people is very, very difficult. But because the business development team do come from mostly from open innovation teams within LG, they know who's looking for what kind of technology, so they can usually make it the right match. And so that's a very important function. But not only that, they also try to advise the startups on how to work with LG and also support in the startups in any way they can. I mean, sometimes during their discussion, there are miscommunication, and the business development team go out and try to help them relieve any kind of miscommunication that could happen between our portfolio companies and people within LG. And we also have 7 business management team members. These are just accounting and back office. And basically we're all self-contained within Silicon Valley. So in a nutshell, that's us. I think I have a little extra time, so I may take a question or two. I don't know, am I allowed to do that, or?
Is it okay to you, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take any chance to share or not, if not,
okay.
all right, yeah, that's enough.
Thank you.
Very much for your great contribution with this session. Thank you so much. Great, Dan. And let me introduce our distinguished speaker, Avishak Valley, Director for Startup Ecosystem of Dassault Systems. He's already on the stage, so please welcome him on a huge round of applause once again.
Hi, everybody. My name is Abhishek Bali. I'm based in Boston, and I manage the startup program for 3D Experience Works or Dassault System. Popularly, we are called SolidWorks, so mechanical engineers, production engineers, industrial engineers. Among the crowd, they might know SolidWorks. It's probably the most popular 3D design software in the world. Let's see if this works. Okay. Briefly about this company, Dassault System, the parent company. So we have a legacy of being a pioneer. Like in 1981, the company started off as a spin-off from Dassault Aviation, and we were the first one to introduce 3D design. And then in 1989, with Boeing, the 3D digital mock-up, and 1999 was 3D PLM, which is product lifecycle management with Toyota. But now we are fully on cloud. So that's the direction of the entire industry. 3 Cs, cloud, connected, and collaborative. So we are now in the business of digitizing not just things, but life. Okay. Yeah, so it's a big company. it's based out of Paris, so around 22,000 employees, and we have 15,000 partners. This 300,000 customers like LG, Samsung, Boeing, Airbus, and so, but the company is looking at a very long-term strategy. So many years ago, what the company decided as a strategy was that we were very good with top-down innovation, where we are helping all these big companies innovate. But what about bottoms-up innovation, where startups, makers, students who want to start their company, how can we make our amazing tools around design, engineering, simulation available to them, accessible? In that spirit, the startup program started. Okay, and SolidWorks, if you know about it, you're around 7 million SolidWorks users, and there are 1.2 million commercial users. These are like 3,000 companies, 300,000 companies. But the most important thing is this. I'm also manage the Fab Lab part of it. We are in all the makerspaces and Fab Labs, work with MIT very closely. But 18,000 startups have used the software to grow from year zero, I would say. And this is where my program comes. And I travel all across the world, but the interesting thing is that wherever I go, if I'm wearing a SolidWorks t-shirt, invariably somebody will come to me and say that, hey, thank you so much for your help, because when we started out, all I had was an idea and free software from your program. And this guy, Karthik, I've hidden the rest of the details, but I was at TechCrunch a year ago. He came to me, he said, because of SolidWorks, I was able to actually leave my job with Tesla and start my own company, and now I'm very successful. So all across the world, Josh, this guy, again, when he came to us 4 years ago, no money, nothing, 2 guys just out of college. So we gave him access to SolidWorks actually for 2 years for free, and now it's a $110 million company, and he's been invested in by Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, and he was the one who introduced President Biden when President Biden was introducing the CHIPS Act. So they're making portable batteries for electric vehicles. I have many stories. These guys are, I think I was talking to, this is Quantum Cat guys. They're from Korea. So met them at CES. So, why startups love SolidWorks? So what I have found is the simple reason is that, again, you're talking to them, is that our software helps these companies start, scale, and grow, because we're not just giving them a software that can just turn your ideas into 3D, but all along the curve, when these companies have to communicate their idea to investors, so the investors need to visualize what's happening with the product, what the product is doing in context. So design, engineering, simulation is a very important part, and the software actually eases that out. All you need is skills, and we give them enough tutorials. Everything is online to help that. And then when they enter the production phase, then of course, they carry that along, because invariably the manufacturers, prototyping makers would be using SolidWorks. So it's a no-brainer. So the offering is very simple. Year 1 is free. Year 2 is 70% off. Year 3 is 50% off. So these are for basic roles, and these basic roles are $90,000 worth of money. So we are kind of investing, but we are actually giving it for free, but there is a value in kind associated with that. Now, if the company is doing something really complicated, like Rowan, professor was doing, I'm sure they're using SolidWorks, because KEST is one of our customers. So if they're doing electromagnetic simulation, so those would be advanced roles. Even on them, we give 90% off, 70% off, 50% off. And these roles help you make organic shapes, simulate machines, and whatever you can think of physical world. By the way, this entire DDP was built on our CATIA software. So my colleagues in France We're working with the designer. So, whatever is physical, we have a solution for that. So what are we looking for? Who are we looking for? So we're looking for early to mid-stage hardware startups that are building or designing a physical product. And they should be less than $1 million in lifetime revenue, and they should not be more than 5 years old. But again, we are flexible for the right kind of company, a company making a life-saving drug or dispensation, or maybe a prosthetic. We say it's fine because it's we humans running the program. So last slide is some examples are Boom Supersonic. You might have heard of them. They got $700 million of funding and very high-level contracts, high decibel contracts with United Airlines, American, and Japan Airlines. They're bringing supersonic flight to commercial. And then Spark Charge, there's Northvolt. One of my favorites is that spin launch. They are using that huge snail-like thing to actually throw small satellites into the orbit. Then Marble is there. Heliorec is very interesting. These are floating solar panels. Wondercraft, we have Gravity Industries, which is like making jet suits. And CellLink, they're 3D printing human organs. So 18,000 companies have gone through the program. And just yesterday, 28 companies applied to the program. So my main thing is that all the investors, of course, we should talk, how can we help the startups by connecting some of them to you. And for startups and your friends, if they are building a hardware product, ask them to apply to the program. It's very simple, solidworks.com/startups.
You done?
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for your great reverse pitching. Thank you. 3D experience works is everywhere, so it is quite impressive sentence for everyone here. All right, and then please allow me to our excellent next speaker onto the stage is Sarah Applebaum, partner of Pangea Ventures. She's ready. All right, then please welcome her onto the stage with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today and introduce our fund, Pangea Ventures. We are a little bit different than some of the other groups that have already presented and will present today because we are not a CVC. We are a traditional venture capital fund, but we work with a large number of corporations and CVCs to help them accelerate and implement and deliver their innovation programs. And so I'll talk a little bit more about our fund thesis and who we are and the types of companies that we invest in. If I could get the next slide, please. Perfect. So at Pangea Ventures, we are a hard tech venture capital firm. What that means is we're investing in the next generation of companies that leverage advancements in materials, chemistry, and biology. We want to help entrepreneurs solve some of the most fundamental challenges in the world today related to climate change, food and water security, and human health. And I think we can all agree that you can't solve these problems with software solutions alone. We need hard science and innovation to decarbonize the atmosphere, to produce enough food to feed 10 billion people, and ensure that there is safe air to breathe, safe water to drink, and equitable healthcare for all. At Pangea, in addition to not only investing in what we believe are really important and intractable problems, we want to measure what matters, and so we also want to be able to quantify the impact that all of our portfolio companies can generate through their activities. We believe impact is the opportunity, and as a hard tech-focused and sustainability ESG-focused fund, we think those two items are intrinsically linked. The bigger the impact that a company can have through their product, service, and technology, the larger we believe the opportunity is not only for the startup, but for the investors that back them. So we have 4 goals and 4 things that we measure for all of the companies that we invest in. So what we really care about are CO2 emissions reductions, impact on human health and lives impacted, increase in food production or reduction in food waste, and fresh water saved or treated through the technologies in our portfolio. And you can see here we have 4 very bold targets that are all rooted in the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We measure these outputs for all of our portfolio companies and now are producing an annual ESG impact report. We have just published our 5th annual report, and it is available on our website. I hope you will all take a look and provide your comments. Going back to the theme today about CVCs, these are the groups that we work with. We work with over 24 international corporations who are investors in one or more of our funds. You'll see here some logos and names that you recognize, including some very famous Korean companies like Samsung and Doosan. But we also work with companies and partners in Japan, in Thailand, in Europe, and in the US. And so how this relationship works really quickly is we sort of see Pangea and maybe other financial investors in the center of the ecosystem, where we're sharing market intelligence, information about startup companies and our deal flow with our corporate partners. And in turn, we're learning from them about how they want to work with startups, what are their technology and innovation priority areas, and how can we help accelerate the commercialization of the companies that we invest in through partnering with our limited partners. And I thought I'd maybe talk about a couple of examples in the portfolio to illustrate the types of companies that we back. And maybe I should just step back for a quick second and share a little bit about our investment thesis, stage, check size. I'm based in Vancouver, Canada. Our US team is in Phoenix, Arizona. And from those 2 locations, we cover the world from a hard tech and an impact investment perspective. We source about 1/3 of our total deal flow from Europe, Israel, parts of Asia, Australia, but we're really focused on investing in startup companies that already have operations in North America or are actively looking to relocate to Canada or the US or set up a subsidiary there as part of the use of proceeds of this financing round. We invest in companies that are out of the lab. They've demonstrated the technology in field with a partner and have already got some early evidence of product market fit through customer revenue. So I want to use a couple of examples to illustrate. PH7 Technologies is a company that we invested in earlier this year, and they're focused on critical metal recovery and recycling. They've developed a low-temperature process to extract platinum group metals from automotive catalytic converters, membranes from fuel cells and electrolyzers, and other sources. The legacy technology today is inefficient, it's energy intensive, and expensive. PH7 enables a lower cost, more environmentally friendly solution, and they're currently scaling up from 100 kilograms per day to a 5-ton per day demonstration plant by the end of next year. Another company that we recently invested in is called Compact Membrane Systems. They are at the forefront of helping industrial decarbonization. They have developed a membrane solution that can be installed in industrial settings to help decarbonize or remove CO2 from flue gas. This is a company that we invested in as well earlier this year with partnerships from some very important players in the energy and chemical space. In this round, we invested alongside Chevron, Solvay, GC Ventures, which is the venture arm of PTT, a Thai chemical company, and maybe most importantly, Technip Energies, which is one of the world's largest EPCs for energy transition. And a number of these groups are also investors in our funds. And maybe in the interest of time, I'll just jump to one last example, CarbonCure Technologies. CarbonCure is a company that we've been invested in now for almost 7 years. We first invested in the company in 2015, and what this company's technology does is they enable a lower carbon dioxide concrete product. As many of you might know, the built environment is responsible for about 8% of global GHG emissions, and that's largely attributable to concrete and cement. CarbonCure is now really the commercial leader in carbon dioxide utilization and have demonstrated the ability to not only capture significant value in sequestering carbon dioxide in concrete, they're generating carbon credits, which they're sharing that revenue with their customers. They were recognized by the Carbon X Prize several years ago, and they won that prize in 2020 with next generation technology and have been backed by some really brand name investors in addition to Pangea. So after we invested in the company, we brought in Amazon, Microsoft, Breakthrough Energy Ventures, and their most recent financing earlier this year was led by Blue Earth Capital. And you'll see here that the CO2 reduced by this company, they're targeting 4 million tons of CO2 reduced globally by 2025. And maybe I'll just pause there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your great reverse pitching. It was a very insightful time. And next, let me move on to introduce our next speaker, Shelley Rao, investor of Juniper Networks on this stage. Would you please come forward onto the stage? Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Is the green button the next?
Yeah, green button one.
Okay.
Yeah, button.
Hi, everybody. I obviously prepared a very corporate presentation. Maybe I should have switched up the graphics a little bit, but very happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I work at Juniper Networks, which is a Silicon Valley-based computer networking company that focuses on networking equipment. So to put it in simpler terms, if you go to a location, a room, you see Wi-Fi or any sort of VPN setup, we help equip it from a hardware Ethernet switches perspective. So it's a company based in the Silicon Valley, and we sell to almost all of the Fortune 500 companies in the US. And yeah, very happy to be here today, and hopefully I can be a little bit more insightful. Okay, so our objective, as I mentioned, is to invest in companies and technologies that are strategically aligned with Juniper's business units. We are a strategy-first investment arm of Juniper. And some of the drivers that we focus on are, I don't want to read the slide, but to reiterate it in more simpler terms, we want to use venture as a window to the future. So the way that the venture arm is set up is or the strategy cycle is set up is that there are usually different horizons defined by the amount of years that we see it could be impactful, or that it could be an inflection point for Juniper in the future. And venture is the outermost inflection points, being 7 to 10 years horizon of technologies that we think could be industry altering for Juniper, either for our customers or for our tech stack at large. We like to always be very hands-on and build solutions hands in hand with our portfolio companies. And in terms of amount of companies we invest in, we tend to be very selective. So anywhere between 1 to 2 investment a year. But once we do make those decisions and we invest in them, we have unwavering conviction, and we are partners to them in terms of providing support and access to the Juniper network in terms of distribution, marketing, or just hands-on, more technical related support due to the network that we have at Juniper, which are more the technical type engineers. Investment-wise, we deploy anywhere between $25 to $30 million a year. It is an evergreen fund. We don't have a target per se, but we like to be strategic and make investments where we see that there is a real opportunity for us. And we can go as early as seed. So just last year, we made an investment in a company that was in pre-seed stage, where we saw a strong strategic fit to serve a mutual customer. In that case, it was Target. And a couple of years ago, just before that, we invested in StackPath, which was a Series D company. So just to illustrate the level of flexibility that we have in terms of making these investments. For themes, right now we currently are focused on AI specifically, and that's what my mandate is. Traditionally, it's been more deep tech, hardware, any sort of, I guess, Silicon Valley traditional tech companies that were incubated there back in the 90s, and the effects of those companies were able to have, and the alumni of those companies who went on and did their own ventures or startups down the road. And we would typically be willing to take the risk on them and be the first check writers for founders that were in the original sort of internet boom sort of time. And outside of that, we also invest more recently in cloud services, security, as well as networking. I'm very personally excited about AI just because of how revolutionary it's been for the industry, not just the app layer AI type apps that are consumer facing, but also for the enterprise, especially for us, it would be anything related to AI ops. And maybe I can speak to it more on the next slide. Okay, so on AI ML, more recently we've deployed an ecosystem fund that's $50 million annually, and we'd like to, and I think I mentioned this at a talk earlier today as well, we have access to enterprise data that I think could be leveraged, especially with early stage partners who could benefit from those data. And one of the pain points that we see from early stage companies is that they can't validate their products. And one of those barriers is access to data. In a lot of cases, these enterprises are siloed and they're not willing to share with startups unless there is a feasible use case that is a little bit broader. And where we came in is we created an ecosystem funds where we're trying to leverage the location APIs of our Junos network, which are deploying Wi-Fi networks globally, even in Korea for some customers. And what we're able to do with AI is to incorporate predictive analysis or predictive positioning for location services startups to deploy at locations that they would otherwise not have access to. And that has been really helpful in getting us traction in terms of access to those promising startups or just help them navigate their roadmaps a little bit more. More recently, we're also interested in conversational AI and more specifically where we can see value in the AI tech stack. And we've been doing that over the past couple of months, just kind of a thought exercise around what is actually interesting in terms of a play for infrastructure player like us who aren't traditionally active in that space. And it's not necessarily impossible, and that's the interesting, I guess, conclusion that we came down to is that there are use cases that are very interesting for generative AI, LLM, and NLP, even in the AI ops space. So AI ops differs in that it's the infrastructure layer as opposed to the consumer-facing layer. And it could be integrated into all sorts of apps that the DevOps use in the enterprise software space, especially DevOps. So if you, let's say, want to predict that there is a downtime in your network, usually that's done manually by an engineer going through the logs. But with AI and conversational AI specifically, you could ask a question to an interface, and you could return specific locations where those, access points are down, and that saves a huge amount of time and human resources in terms of manpower for those companies. So we've seen a lot of traction there, especially having a reliable use case where you're not giving false positives, because engineers, when they see 2 false negatives, they just turn it off. So I think we have a product that is made for engineers, which is why we think it could be promising for us to just be active in the space and find use cases with these startups and try to be as active as we can, even on top of the stack. And then the other areas are also super interesting. I mean, personally, I've been more involved on the AI side of things, but traditionally, Juniper has been investing in all sorts of more the hard tech or deep tech related activities, such as networking, security, and cloud services. And I think there are some companies that are worth mentioning in the next slide. So just to give you guys a little bit of flavor, what we've invested in the past, these were obviously before my time. So in the security side, we were invested in FireEye, which subsequently merged with McAfee, and now it's Trellix. So we've been around for a while. I think I get that question a lot. People don't realize that Juniper has a venture arm, just because we're pretty, I would say, selective, the investments that we do make and when to announce them. But we have been around for a while, so 15 to 20 years since the IPO, I would say, as early as that. And we have seen some pretty good success with some of our portfolio companies. More recently, after I've joined, we've invested in a couple of DevOps and edge compute type startups like Zadida. I do want to shout out to Zadida here because it's a company that I've seen grow tremendously over the time of my investment and time at Juniper. I think we invested in them as early as seed, and they've grown about 3 times their ARR within a year, even with the recent macroeconomic downturn and long enterprise sales cycles, as you guys may have known. So very impressed with them, and they're right now, I think they're raising their Series B. So if their use case is automotive, which I think it could be very relevant for Korean startups. If you see a use case that is edge compute automotive related, please do reach out. They are currently deploying a very large-scale OEM deal in Europe with one of the largest OEMs there for car manufacturing. I cannot disclose the name, but there are very interesting automotive use cases for edge compute and virtualization, so please do reach out. As well, I would also like to shout out to Lightbend. So DevOps is also very interesting, although right now I think the entire space is pretty saturated, but Lightbend has been a very interesting company to witness, scaling from an open source type business model to now being commercialized. They are the inventor of Scala, so it helps enable cloud native coding. So if you're a DevOps who is coding in Java or I think the other languages, I don't remember that one, but for those interested, I can get back to you. But they are a very interesting application. We're seeing tons of traction with AWS and Google as well. So yes, those are the ones I'd like to shout out. And that's it. Okay, sorry, I don't know if that was 8 minutes, but happy to take questions or.
Is the last slide for you?
Yeah, that was
all right. Yeah, we're done.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your insightful and informative reverse pitching. Thank you so much. And then let's move on to introduce our next speaker. I'm very happy to introduce Karen Wang onto the podium, Investment Manager of Deutsche Bank. Please welcome her with big hand.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Wang. I am an investor at Deutsche Bank CVC.
The green one. All right.
Okay. So a little about the team. We were opened about 2 years ago, and we are a 4-person team, 2 in New York and 2 in Berlin. Our focus areas are mainly in enterprise software. We make Series A investments in AI, ML, data, in cybersecurity, in digital assets, in ESG, emerging technology, RegTech, future of work, cloud, and digitalization. So when we look at companies, we really want to use the product. So if we see that there is a pain point at the bank, then we want the solution to come into the bank. So we're making the investment, but we're also using the product. Additionally, we also have a entrepreneur in residence program. So this is a program where we work with early stage startups from pre-seed to seed stage, where we're bringing them into the bank based on our mandate and based on challenges that we see as a problem. We're working with them for 6 months, and we're co-developing a product together. So when we're working with them, we're introducing them to internal stakeholders within the bank who could help guide them and provide feedback. And since they are subject matter experts, they would know how to guide them. When we work with these startups, usually we are making sure that we have a success criteria. That way we get something out of the program, and then the startup gets something out of it. I would say that we want to work with as many startups, and since it is a new program, we've been trying to learn more about the startup ecosystem, both in the US and externally in different countries. So far, we've had 2 entrepreneurs go through our program since it is 2 years old. So right here today, I'm looking for startups in this space who are pre-seed and seed stage. So if you are looking to build a financial product and are looking to work with a big corporation, I would love to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your great speech. And then, sadly, we have one last speaker with this second session. It's going to be our last speaker, Roy Furman, Managing Director of Doral Energy Technology Ventures. Please welcome him onto the stage with a huge round of applause.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm last, so after that, everybody can go and take some rest, I guess. So thank you for having me. I'm traveling to Korea for my first time. I'm based in Tel Aviv in Israel, and I'm heading Doral Energy Tech Ventures, which is the corporate innovation and investment arm of Doral Energy. So a few slides about the mothership, about Doral, and then I'll dig deeper into Doral Tech. And okay. So Doral Energy is a publicly traded company in Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. The headquarters is based in Israel. And as you can see, we are pretty active across the country with more than 500 renewable energy projects across the country from south to the north. We are doing a lot of renewables projects from solar PV, wind, biogas, waste to energy, and so on. We also buy quite a lot of energy storage systems and integrate them to the grid, behind the meter applications, in front of the meter, utility scale, and so on. Actually, it's funny because lots of connections are into the cell manufacturers based here in Korea and also in China. We are also energy supplier, so we take in charge of generation and also in supply to mostly enterprises or multinationals that have some operations in Israel and they would like to reduce their carbon footprint. Beyond Israel, we are also pretty active in the US, mainly in the Midwest, across a quite significant pipeline of renewable energy projects, mainly utility scale projects. And this is quite interesting because if you think about lots of Korean conglomerates that tap into the US, building their gigafactories and so on, they demand and require a lot of energy. So we generate and a lot of green electrons that later on we can provide them under virtual power purchase agreement and so on. The flagship project in the US is called Mammoth Solar Project. It's a 1.6 gigawatt solar project. So imagine 50,000 hectares that will be covered with solar panels. I am living in Israel, so in my figures, it's like literally the entire size of Tel Aviv, Jaffa will be covered with solar panels, so it's quite huge. It's more than $1.6 billion of investments in this project. We're also pretty active in Europe, across 4 countries as of today. Again, developing projects. Doral Tech, which I'm adding, was established about 2.5 years ago, and the idea is to create a global investment platform that we have a triple bottom line on our investments. We do not only want to have exceptional financial returns, we also do want to make a positive impact on our planet. So usually in the corporate VC world, it's divided between the strategic first or the financial first. So we are pure play financial when we make decisions. When a collaboration with this startup will not tick the box of financial returns, we will just do innovation and collaboration without investing. But when we make investment, we make financial decisions from the get-go and up until realization. So as of today, we have 17 companies in our portfolio. On the last year alone, we conducted 12 pilots with different startups. Some of them we invested in, and others are not. This year, there is a lot of discussion about market condition. So this year alone, from 2023, our portfolio companies was raising $627 million in several investment rounds. We can argue whether the energy tech and climate tech is slightly more resilient segment within the high-tech scene in comparison to other segments, but the number speaks. Beyond that, we have very strong collaboration with universities, so we sponsored some applied research programs, and our companies also received quite a significant non-dilutive grants from governments, whether it be in Israel, in the US, and in Europe, where there is a tremendous tailwind and available financing. We call it literally money on the floor that startups just need to know how to grab. So our areas of interest is pretty broad. Basically, it's divided between the core main activities of our company, which is green energy, renewable energy, distributed energy resources, energy storage, obviously, long-duration energy storage, energy management, and software solution that we can optimize our energy operation and energy trading. We have a strong thesis on renewable molecules, basically the evolution of green hydrogen, green ammonia, distributed green fertilizers, and so on. Sustainable aviation fuels, for example. These are investments that we conducted and also looking forward to invest more. Decarbonization of hard-to-abate industries, where we can supply energy and also to come up with an interesting solution into that. Into the carbon space, so imagine we sometimes tend to see these huge direct air capture projects. These machines consume a lot of energy, and we try to build our off-grid projects based on, for the purpose of carbon projects. We have a strong thesis on sustainable cities. Originally, smart cities with 5G connectivity and so on was pretty in the middle of the hype and in terms of the networks and so on. But we do see a very interesting potential and growth potential towards sustainable cities, which means how building will create and create more efficient energy. How do we handle waste streams within the municipal solid waste? How do we deal with water systems and so on? And lastly, the intersection between agriculture and renewable energy, where we introduced into the market about 3 years ago the agrivoltaics concepts. So basically, it's the same use of the land to both producing energy and also growing some different type of crops. Our activities at Doral Tech, first pillar is very strong ties with universities. We supported universities and specific labs where we sponsored some applied research program. We have the vision that when we fund these type of programs, we can create new intellectual property that later on we can spin them off as startups and bring other investors in. Doral, as of today, doesn't have any R&D capabilities. We do not sell products to anyone. We develop projects. So here it's not trivial to do that, but we definitely see that and think that there is a huge potential to collaborate with academia. So it can also be academia from all over the world. In the ecosystem, we tried and invest a lot in order to build the ecosystem, because a few years back, when we just started this activity, and the entrepreneurs wasn't really there. They were trying to solve cybersecurity challenges, is the mainstream Israeli talent, fintech, and so on. We wanted to attract this talent into climate and energy challenges and segment. So we started creating infrastructure in the form of accelerator programs, non-dilutive programs for the ecosystem, to grow the ecosystem. So different type of competition, bootcamp for ideation, bootcamp for growth stage, accelerator for early stage, and so on. And I totally invite any fund or corporate or university that would like to engage. These are platforms that we build for the ecosystem. So you are more than welcome to reach out and to collaborate with us. So this is our global portfolio of companies. We invest, obviously, we're based in Israel, so this is, call it the bread and butter, but also invest globally in the US and in Europe. We haven't done our first investment in Korea, but with the right local partner and team, we can definitely consider doing so. And we proud ourselves that we collaborate with some of the leading funds, whether it be corporate VC, where we enjoy from strong collaboration with other corporations, also private equity firms, and financial VCs. So all of them are co-invested with us, some of them repetitive, and some of them we had once. So also we co-invested with some Korean conglomerates. And this is where the magic happened, in my view. So if you're a startup and you think about your syndication of which type of investor you should bring in, I would encourage you to think about the day after. Because at least in our industry, where there is lots of hardware and deep tech involved, as long as you can bring complementary partners to the syndication, it will serve you well in the day after of investment. And this is how we try to think about it, and the partners that we engage and collaborate with. I think I'm going to pause here. We have some examples on the thesis on hydrogen, but I think I'm going to pause here just from the sake of time. And thank you very much for inviting us.
All right, it was very meaningful and invaluable chance to know about the Doral Energy Tech venture. Okay. So far, ladies and gentlemen, we have listened to very informative and great reverse pitching delivered by global CVC companies with our honorable speakers. So I know that it was very meaningful and insightful time for everyone here, even the online participants through the YouTube channel. And then, last but not least, I'd like to convey my deepest appreciation because I can have a huge honor to introduce Niels Stein once again on this stage for his last remarks. He will deliver last remarks on corporate venture building for this commemorative moment for this session. So please give him a huge round of applause. Welcome him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm acutely aware of the fact that I'm probably the person between you and a drink or getting off that hard chair. So I'm going to really try move at pace here. And I'm privileged to share with you just a bit of perspective on how we think about impact, creating impact, and driving impact from innovation through to commercialization and market. And if you entered the room recently, just reintroduction myself. My name is Niels Stein. I'm a partner at BCGX. BCGX is the tech build and design unit of BCG, Boston Consulting Group, the management consulting firm. And what I would like to just share with you is the number one question that we have and receive and that we know is top of mind for global CEOs of large corporations is, where is the disruption going to come from to my business? It's not if or when, it's where it's going to come from. And if you're a global CEO, the advice that we have, or that I have for you, is what got you here won't get you there. You may be the elephant in the room, or you may be running the race, but be aware, know who you're running against, right? We all know the examples of what Netflix and the streaming services did to the video DVD rental business and put Blockbuster into bankruptcy. We know what Tesla has done to revolutionize EVs and for the benefit of the planet forced GM, Ford, all these guys to change their business models and rethink about producing internal combustion engines by 2030. And then last but not least, certainly the flavor of this year, the key question we're getting is how will generative AI disrupt my business, and how can I use generative AI in my business to make me more efficient and future-proof? Now, there are several corporate innovation models, right? And I won't go through them because I think they're very familiar to you. But the interesting thing is, from the corporates that we speak to, that we've seen over the last 15 years, is that the number of corporates that we speak to that employ some or all of these models have grown significantly. So where 15 years ago it may have been 1 or 2% of them having 1 or 2 of these models, today up to 20% of them would have either one or multiple of these corporate innovation models in their businesses. Now, when you say corporate innovation in a boardroom, you often kind of like get this reaction. And I'm pretty sure all of you get this reaction. And there are genuinely a host of reasons why either or any of those models do not work and will not work. Right? And that's where we come in, really, is to help address this fear. And our perspective is really we bring a battle-tested and codified methodology and a structured process to help corporates through this journey end to end, right? And we've broken it down into 3 phases, really, that we work according to. The first, really, the innovation phase. That's really sort of the real top of the funnel. That's where we, at the end of a 12, 14-week period, come out with a clearly defined opportunity area where we're going to play, a problem that we've identified to solve, and an articulation of what the solution is to solve that problem, with a vision for that product of where we would take it, as well as a business case and investment case that clearly outlines, what's the total investment required to get this through the J curve and pop out on the other side and have a profitable, sustainable business in market. That's sort of the upfront innovation phase. Then we move into incubation with our corporate partners. And during incubation, we're essentially building 3 things. We build the product, we build the business, and we build the venture. And when we build the product, that's essentially, building an MVP that we try to get into the hands of users as fast as possible. Building the business is really about building all the commercial elements to get it going, finding the first customer, strategic partnerships, channel or other distribution partnerships that we might need to sign up. And then building the venture is about building the organization and the team and the structure required actually to take this new venture into the next phase. And so what we do is we actively hire in a new management team, a founding management team, to come into the venture, work with us side by side, and then slowly but surely we sort of remove ourselves from the venture and allow the new team to scale the business and market. And that's essentially then how it goes into the 3rd phase, commercialization. And during commercialization, it is really about the growth and scale of the business that is now in market, iteratively improving on the product, and operating and building out operations and building out the team further. And that phase of commercialization could be a short period of working together with that new founding management team, or it could be long. Sometimes it could be a year or 2 that we'd work together with the team. And there are maybe just 2 or 3 things that I'd like to just share with you in terms of best practice and things that we have now codified over having done 200-300 of these things in market over the last 8-9 years. We remain, not only at the start, but all throughout those 3 phases, laser focused on 4 key questions. The first really being, does it matter? Are we truly, genuinely solving a problem or a pain point or a need for a customer or a user that we've identified? The second is around, can it grow? Will it scale? Do we have a business here with the right economics and the right market to be able to grow and scale to the needs that required? If you think about corporate balance sheets, what kind of returns you would require and size of enterprise value you'd need to build to move the needle. The third is around, will it work? And it's about answering the question of, can we build this from a technical engineering perspective? Does the technology exist for us to get a product in market quickly? But also, is the operating or regulatory environment there already or feasible for us to be able to launch a product in market? And then fourth, last but not certainly by no means the least, in our model focusing on corporate venturing, it's about identifying which are the corporate assets that we will leverage and use to build an unfairly advantaged business. And I never say this in front of regulators, but to me it's really about finding what is that unfair advantage. Because building a corporate venture, we can seldom compete against a startup, a team, a founding team in a garage who are just incredibly hungry and passionate. So we need to find something that the startup cannot get access to. And these are things such as, sometimes we leverage a brand. Most often we leverage distribution channels that the corporate has already set up. Sometimes we leverage existing customer relationships. Sometimes, if it's in the B2C space, we actually have access to the 1, 2, 3 million customers that the corporate might already have that we can market the product to. So it's finding that corporate asset that we can ride on and leverage to build that unfair advantage. Speaking of the first one about does it matter, it's for us absolutely critical to remain laser focused on the customer's needs and the customer's problem and solving for a real friction. And those could come from 3 different sources typically, and we always look at all of them. Of course, the first one is analyzing the market, the dynamics, the trends, and where the space is moving towards, right? It's that analogy of building and running, if it's soccer or football or hockey, sort of running or skating to where the puck is going or where the ball is going. The second is clearly identifying what the customer friction or pain point is along the journey of the user that we've mapped and identified. And then the third is often always the most interesting one is identifying what are latent needs that users are not able to articulate, but something that we can observe as a friction or a challenge or a problem that we can solve or make more efficient. And here I'll share one example. We built a business in Indonesia called OVO. It's a fintech, it's a digital wallet. It's the biggest one in the country today. It's got about 35 million monthly active users. The interesting insight there when we were at the start of the journey, we were working with, doing some ethnographic research with a couple of guys. And this was about 7 or 8 years ago, and online shopping was just getting going in Indonesia. And we asked the guy, so when you buy something online, how do you pay for it? And he said, easy, bro. And he grabs, let me show you, he grabs his helmet, he gets on his little motorbike, he says, come, follow me. Goes across town, we go to the ATM, gets to the ATM, punches in the account number of the seller, does his transaction on the ATM, takes a screenshot of the screen of the ATM that he's paid, and then SMSs it to the seller and say, done, my stuff will be delivered. He thought he had a fantastic process there. We knew there's a better way of doing that, right? The second one is continuously testing and iterating on the learnings, right? And here I'll just share another example of a venture that we built. It's a farmer services platform called Jiva. And the venture offers agronomic advice to smallholder farmers. But we had to, before we even built the first line of code, we had to test whether the advice that we'd be delivering to smallholder farmers in rural areas of Southeast Asia would actually not only work, but they'll be receptive to be able to apply it, right? So the first thing we did is we said, okay, let's focus on one small little island in Indonesia. We put a Facebook ad out. We said we're looking for any farmers who would like to receive free advice. In 24 hours, we got 300 folks who signed up. And so what we did is we spun up a WhatsApp concierge group with those 300 farmers. And we were on the back end of that, driving the engagement with these 300 farmers to test all the elements that became sort of foundational to building the product. We had to test, first of all, what type of agronomic advice they were interested in, what kind of questions they were asking or sending in to us, what media they sort of prefer to engage with. So was it text-based, was it voice note, was it images, was it video? We learned what time of day best to engage with these smallholder farmers because none of them take a phone out to the fields, right? So it's in the early morning before they go to the mosque for prayers, that's when they'll have a phone with them. And then most of the time at nighttime when they get back from a day's work and they're playing games, that's when they were willing to engage with us. All these learnings we got through just a WhatsApp group. And so that testing and learning and iterating is also fundamental to the journey. As I mentioned earlier, we've built about close to 300 of these businesses across multiple industries around the world. And perhaps I just quickly share a bit more deep dive on the 2 ventures that I've mentioned. Maybe I can share 3 if there's time, just to give a bit of a flavor of the impact that these ventures have created in market. So I mentioned OVO. OVO is a fintech in Indonesia. It's a digital wallet that we built with a large conglomerate that has a significant presence in real estate. And so if you think about a digital wallet and to get the transactions going on the digital wallet, you got to, of course, stimulate both sides of it, the users as well as the merchants. And the corporate advantage and the unlock here is through the Lippo Group, we went to every single retailer in all of their malls, and they literally just forced them to accept OVO as a payment mechanism. So overnight, there were a couple of 100,000 retailers on the platform. To stimulate the consumer side, what we did is we offered free parking at the mall if you download the app. In fact, it wasn't free parking, it was 1 rupiah, but still, where parking was paid for everybody now, we download the app and only pay 1 rupiah for parking. And so all of a sudden, we got, in a rapid amount of time, we got users onto the platform. And then it was just about driving the engagement to get the flywheel going. And today, as I mentioned, OVO is certainly the #1 digital wallet in Indonesia, about 35 million monthly active users or so. Last known valuation before it was acquired by Grab was about $2.5 billion, and is now, as I mentioned, fully owned by Grab, the ride-hailing platform in most countries Southeast Asia. Jiva I also mentioned, and I'll share a bit more in detail about this business. We built Jiva together with Olam International, a global agri-commodity trading company. So they trade about 40 or so global agri-commodities, from coffee to cocoa to chili to cotton. In fact, 1 of every 4 cups of coffee that you drink probably passed through their supply chains. Right? Now, their model is really to buy from the farm gate, from the smallholder farmers, and then sell further down the value chain to producers. But they came to us and they said, we already have relationships with about 5 million smallholder farmers, but we want to increase the engagement and the stickiness with these farmers, and we want to add value back to their lives and their livelihoods in a scalable manner. And so with that objective, that's what we set out, and we went and spent time with farmers in the Ivory Coast, India, and Indonesia. And as I tell them, we spent weeks. We went for 3 trips, and each trip was 2-3 weeks at a time, that we just spent time with these farmers in their homes, in their fields, in the marketplaces, to truly, truly understand and empathize with their needs and their daily lives, and the frictions and things they encounter when building their businesses, which is essentially farming 1 or 3 hectares plot size. And so Jiva delivers 4 services to farmers. The first I mentioned, or I alluded to, is agronomic advice, that we're able to deliver personalized and contextualized to the individual farmer, which is quite unique. And then the second is to provide farmers with the right agricultural input products that they need at the time that they need it, right? So again, just observing what was happening and going on, we saw one farmer applying detergent to his maize, to his crop. He had pest on the crop. And when we tried to understand a bit further, we realized he knew what pesticide to apply. I mean, he knows what's required. But the day before, he drove all the way into the nearest spaza shop, which is 25 kilometers away. There was no stock there, so he came back and he thought he had to do something. And so Jiva delivers the right products that the farmers need to them at the farm gate when they need it. And then the third service, it provides this actually on a buy now, pay later model. So they're able to, they necessarily don't have the cash flow, so they're able to use the products when they need it, and then pay for it when they have a harvest. And at the end of the season, when they have a harvest, is where Jiva actually helps them get better incomes through not only transparency in price, but transparency in the quality and the weight of the harvest, because that's often where traders screw these smallholder farmers. And so Jiva is able to uplift farmers, and now working with a few 100,000 farmers across Indonesia, and India, providing advice to a few million farmers already, and that business is scaling up rapidly. It's already in the 2 years or so that it's been in market like a 500-person organization. So maybe I'll stop there, having shared some of the examples of how we do it and some of the examples of the businesses that we've built in market and the impact that it's creating from the innovation all the way through to commercialization stage. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
All right. Thank you very much for your sincere support, Niels Stein. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, how was this session? Was it productive, meaningful? Right. If you think so, please give a big and huge applause once again for all the presenters and global CVC companies. Thank you very much. And it is time to wrap up here the session of Deep's 1000 Plus and Try Everything 2023. And also we will be back with even more fruitful session next year with our honorable speaker once again. Thank you, and I hope see you all again next year. Goodbye.